Welcome to Zira Kulture Podcast, where ideas meet culture and culture meets the future. This is Season 3, Voices of the Culture. Season 1, Introduce the World. Season 2, Sharpen the Voice. Season 3 becomes the mind of the show. And if you've ever thought culture is just food, fashion, and holidays, I get it. That's the visible part. But the real power of culture is the invisible part. Culture is the rules you didn't realize you agreed to, the dreams you were handed before you even chose them, the definition of success you're chasing, even when it's making you miserable.
So we're not just talking about traditions and outfits. We're talking about how people think, right? How they move in the world.
Exactly. Culture is how people think, dream, hustle, love, and survive. It's the background music of society. And today, we're opening Season 3 with Episode 1. What is culture really?
Okay, give me the simplest definition. If someone asks, what's culture? What do we say without sounding like a textbook?
I'd say culture is a shared operating system. It tells a group of people what's normal, what's weird, what's respected, what's embarrassing, what's allowed, and what gets you punished.
An operating system is a good comparison. Because you don't see it, but it's running everything.
Yes. And the craziest part is, most of us don't notice the system until we're somewhere else. You travel, you change neighborhoods, you enter a new social class, you join a different internet community, and suddenly you realize there are invisible rules everywhere.
Like when you realize you've been speaking a social language and didn't even know it had grammar.
That's it. Culture has grammar. It has accents. It has taboos. It has rewards, and it has consequences.
Let's talk about those invisible rules. What kinds of rules are we even talking about?
Rules like how you show respect, who speaks first, what age means, what marriage means, whether you're supposed to be humble or sell yourself, whether being quiet is seen as wise or seen as weak.
And sometimes it's even small stuff, like how long you're allowed to look someone in the eye.
Yes. Or whether it's normal to negotiate the price of everything, whether being late is rude or just normal life, whether money must be displayed or kept private, whether your achievements are personal or belong to the whole family.
So culture shapes your behavior. But does it also shape your identity? Like who you think you are?
Completely. Culture doesn't just tell you what to do. It tells you what to be, and it does it subtly. It teaches you what kind of person gets love, attention, and safety.
That's deep. Because when people say, just be yourself, they forget that yourself was partly built in a cultural factory.
Right? And I'm not saying culture is evil. Culture is also belonging. It's wisdom passed down. It's shared humor. It's music. It's pride. It's language. It's survival strategies. But culture can also be a cage when the rules are outdated, or when the rules were never meant to serve everyone.
Can we talk about that ecosystem idea you mentioned? Culture behaving like an ecosystem. What does that actually mean?
I love this part. Think about culture like nature. Ideas compete. Behavior spread. Some traditions survive because they work. Some go extinct because the environment changes. And new trends pop up like fast-growing plants after a storm.
So memes are like little organisms.
Basically, yes. Memes spread like viruses. Catchy phrases, dances, aesthetics. If it's easy to copy and it gives people social reward, it spreads.
And if it stops being useful or cool, it dies.
Exactly. Trends go extinct fast. One day, everyone's wearing a look, talking a certain way, doing a particular challenge, and then suddenly it's cringe.
Like dinosaurs in skinny jeans.
Precisely. Cultural extinction. Brutal and immediate.
So when we say culture shapes people, are we talking more about society as a whole, or the internet, or both?
Both. And that's why this season is going to be fun. Because we're living in two worlds at once. There's old school culture, family, community, institutions. And there's internet culture, memes, algorithms, online fame, digital identities.
And those two cultures don't always agree.
They clash constantly. That's Episode 2, Internet Culture versus Real Life. We're going to talk about how the internet bends reality and how online behavior leaks into offline life. How people talk, date, fight, work, even how they measure their worth.
Because now, it's not just what do my neighbors think. It's what does the timeline think.
And the timeline has opinions. Loud ones.
All right, let's get practical. How do you know when culture is guiding you in a healthy way versus controlling you?
Great question. Here are a few signs culture is controlling you. When you feel constant shame for being human. When you're performing a life you don't even want. When you're afraid to ask simple questions because people will talk. When success looks good on the outside, but feels like you're slowly disappearing on the inside.
That last one hits. Because a lot of people are living like that and calling it ambition.
And that's episode 3, the hustle culture trap. We'll ask the uncomfortable question, is grinding 24/7 actually success or just exhaustion wearing a gold chain? Because sometimes the culture of always work isn't a plan, it's a pressure cooker.
But culture can also be empowering, right? Like movements, creativity, young people changing the story.
Absolutely. Culture is also a source of power. And episode 4 is called African Youth Culture Rising. Because there's energy coming from young creators. Music, fashion, film, tech, comedy, dance, language remixing. People taking the old ingredients and cooking something new.
I've seen that. The way young people can shift a whole vibe in months is wild.
And it's not just entertainment. It's identity. It's confidence. It's global presence. It's saying, we're not waiting for permission to be seen.
Okay, but culture also has a dark side online. We need to talk about cancel culture.
We are. Episode 5, Cancel Culture and Accountability. And we're going to be honest. Sometimes people deserve consequences. And sometimes the internet turns accountability into a sport. The line between justice and mob mentality can get blurry fast.
And people act like there's no difference between you did harm, fix it, and you're permanently evil.
Exactly. Culture decides what's unforgivable. Culture decides who gets redemption. And those rules change depending on who you are, what you look like, and how much power you have.
Let's talk about money. Because money culture might be the loudest culture on earth.
Episode 6, Money Culture. We're going to unpack how people think about wealth, status, and power. Why some communities treat money like security, others treat it like freedom, and others treat it like proof of value.
And why people flex online even when they're stressed offline.
Because the culture might reward the appearance of success more than the reality of stability.
And then there's the culture of creativity. Art doesn't just entertain, it shapes society.
Yes. Episode 7, Creative Culture. We're talking music, storytelling, art, comedy, all of it. Because creatives don't just reflect culture. They also rewrite it. They give people new words for emotions they couldn't explain before.
A song can change how a whole generation talks about love.
Or heartbreak. Or freedom. Or pride. Culture travels inside art.
And then, the future. Because culture is changing fast, and tech is speeding it up.
Episode 8, Future Culture. We're going to talk about AI, technology, and global connection. How they'll change how humans live, work, create, and even how we define what's real.
Because when everyone's connected, culture doesn't stay local anymore.
Right? Culture becomes a remix. You'll see a dance from one country, a slang word from another, a fashion style from somewhere else, all blended into one post. And the algorithm amplifies it, edits it, and serves it back to millions.
So bringing it back to episode 1, if culture is an operating system, do we get a choice? Or are we just programmed?
We do get a choice, but not all at once. First, you notice the code. Then you name it. Then you decide what to keep, what to update, and what to uninstall.
How do you notice it? Like, what's step 1 for a listener?
Start with simple questions. Who taught me this was normal? Who benefits if I keep believing it? What happens if I don't follow the rule? And here's a big one. Does this cultural rule help people thrive, or does it just help people obey?
That's a confronting question.
It is, but it's freeing. Because culture is powerful, but awareness is power too.
Before we wrap, what do you want people to carry into the season?
I want people to realize they're not too sensitive or too different just because they don't fit a cultural script. Sometimes you're not broken. Your environment is just outdated for who you've become.
And culture isn't a prison by default. It's a place we can rebuild.
Exactly. Culture is something we inherit, but it's also something we create every day with what we celebrate, what we ignore, what we share, and what we refuse to accept as normal. So that's the doorway to Season 3, Voices of the Culture. Next time, we jump into internet culture versus real life. Memes, trends, digital fame, and how online life reshapes what we call reality.
And if you're listening right now, pay attention today. You'll see culture in the jokes people tell, the things they praise, the things they shame, and what they call success.
Because culture is everywhere. In your playlists, in your timeline, in your family group chat, in what you're afraid to say out loud. Welcome to Zira Kulture Podcast, where ideas meet culture and culture meets the future.